going on, Future Focus team? Back at it with another video. If this is your first time to the channel, thank you. Welcome. If not, welcome back. The purpose of this channel is to educate and entertain you, but the ultimate goal of this channel is to make you just a little bit smarter today in order for you to have a better tomorrow. And with that said, hey, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Corporal Velasco Villegas. I'm 21 years old, and I'm barely getting into investing.
All right, man. So what questions do you have today?
Well, primarily, the main topic wouldn't have been the Roth IRA, the individual retirement account.
Okay, so that's great, man. I have a video I previously posted up on my biggest regrets, and one of the biggest regrets that I had was not starting a Roth IRA sooner in my investing career. The reason for that, man, is that my outlook for investing is long. Like, what's your window for investing? Do you have like a time horizon of how long you plan to be in the investing world? Like, do you see yourself investing all the way until you retire, or is it something you just want to do for like 5 years?
A little bit of both, sir. Like, obviously, like I'll like divide my funds appropriately, like what I want to keep for the long run, which should be more than what I do invest over the next 5-10 years.
All right, man. So Roth IRA. All right. First of all, there's a limit. All right. So it's such a good deal that the government only allows you to contribute $6,000 a year into it. So that's your maximum. You can only contribute a maximum of $6,000. So the way that Roth IRA works is you receive your paycheck, right? And when you receive that paycheck, you've already been taxed. The government already taxed you on it, right? So that money that you put into whatever brokerage you go into, and I'm going to show you mine here shortly to give you like an outlook of what mine looks like and why I decided to go with this app that I have. But you put that money in there and it's already been taxed. So from the moment you put it in there until you pull it out, that money is going to grow and grow and grow. And whenever you go to pull it out, it's going to be tax-free. Whereas the traditional IRA, they don't tax you in the front end, they tax you on the back end. So when you go and pull it out on the back end, you're going to get taxed on it. So the reason I like the Roth is because, again, I've been taxed on it. I'm going to take that money, I'm going to put it in this retirement account, and I can buy, I can sell. Usually, if I sell for a profit, at the end of the year, I have to report that in the IRS, and they're going to tax me capital gains tax. So that's around anywhere, it could be anywhere from 15% to like 27%. It all depends on how much money you make a year, but you're going to be taxed capital gains tax. But with the Roth IRA, you can put, sell as much as you want, make as much profit as you can, and you won't be taxed on it. All right. There's certain instances where you will be taxed, like if you had a ETF or something that had stocks from a different country, like China or Canada, and you receive dividends from those countries, you'll be taxed from that country. So the United States of America IRA is only a tax protection for you in the United States. It doesn't protect your taxes from other countries. So that's important to know, especially for allocation, because it is good to have a diverse portfolio and have stocks from different countries, but it doesn't really benefit you that much to have those stocks from different countries in a Roth IRA. All right, so it's also so good that if you make over $100,000 a year, you no longer qualify for the Roth IRA. So let's say you were making $90,000 and you were contributing. It doesn't mean they're going to give you all that money back and you're screwed. It just means you can no longer keep contributing to it. So that just gives you an idea of how good it is. The government's trying to give you something in order to help something grow tax-free, and is very beneficial. Again, that's one of my biggest regrets that I have, not doing that sooner. Is there like anything you've heard or misconceptions you may have or anything like that?
I guess my only comment would be for example, us military members, we get to contribute into the thrift savings plan,
Hmm.
which do have the option of contributing to either a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. For me, I've only contributed to the Roth IRA because I had heard that before, it getting taxed on the front end vice the back end. Because right now, like my tax bracket is relatively low because of
Hmm.
my income. So the money that I receive monthly or bi-monthly already is taxed. So whenever I put that money in, whenever it is that I'm able to retrieve or withdraw that money, it should be untaxed. Correct, sir?
Yeah, that's correct, man. And again, you're in the military, you're not contributing to an IRA, you're contributing to a thrift savings plan. So that's completely different. The rules for that are completely different. Uh, I personally do not recommend contributing to a TSP more than the government is paying you back. All right. So I think, I don't know if you qualify for the 5% back. Some people do, some people don't. Depends on when you came in. If you don't know, then you should go and find out. If you're contributing more than 5%, it really doesn't benefit you, man, because all you're contributing to is a fund, right? And that fund is comprised of, you may or may not know, but it's comprised of different things depending on what fund you pick. So the funds are comprised of bonds and ETFs and basic stocks, but you're not in control of those stocks. All you're in control of is picking. I want fund E, I want fund C, I want fund F, but you really don't have a choice after that. So it only benefits you for that 5% because you're getting free money. They're going to give you an extra 5% on top of yours in order to help your money grow faster. So that's great. That's a great opportunity. And anybody that offers that, you should take it. It's called employer match. Even people in the civilian sector, some of those people that have 401ks, they have something called employer match. But anything more than that, I strongly believe that if you do your research and you could pick your own stocks and beat whatever the funds that are being offered, that you can personally beat those funds. So that's why I recommend. Do you know personally if you do qualify for that 5% or not?
I think I only quantify for 1%. At least that's what I've heard of. It's like an automatic 1% you put in no matter how much you contribute, something like along those lines, sir.
Yeah,
This is the first time I hear about the 5%.
yeah, you should research it, man. A few years ago, they came up with this. It's called the blended retirement plan, and some people that came in after 2018, they had no choice. I think it was 2018. I have to go back and look at it, but if you came in before that, the window, you didn't qualify. There were certain stipulations behind it, so I would definitely go and research if you are getting that 5%. If not, man, then I would consider not even contributing to it anymore, because you can go again and take that money that you're going to give to the TSP, and still you can still contribute towards your retirement, but you can do it in a place where you can grow your money on your own. You could pick your own stocks that you want, and you can grow it yourself, instead of having some person you don't know who, it's not their money at the end of the day. Does that make sense? Like, you care more about your money than some other guy that's just, grabbing your pile of money and putting it into Fund C. And especially if, like, I don't want my money in a place where I don't know what Fund C stands for. I don't know what Fund H has inside. So that's just something to look at. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to show you the app that I use. It's called M1 Finance. Let's see, where's the... All right, let me know if you can see my screen. I'm going to move this up
I
here.
can see it, sir.
All right, man. So this is my Roth IRA. I started late on this one. Again, that's one of my biggest regrets. I've contributed for 2019, my $6,000, and I've contributed for 2020, $6,000. The reason I like this app, one, it's free. So you have a retirement plan that you're not paying anything for. It has a lot of information in here, but one thing I like compared to other apps is that um, you can organize it very well. So for example, what I have, what the way that works with them, they do pies, something called a pie. And you can name it what you want. You could build it how you want, but it always has to equal 100. So for example, I have a social pie. This is like social media. I have a travel pie, a realty. If you wanted to just have one, you could, but I like to be a little more organized. So I have things kind of spread out. I have a retail, I have different things in here. So for example, you could control it. Do you know what an ETF is? Have you ever heard of a ETF?
No, I have no idea what an ETF is.
You don't? All right, man. So an ETF is an exchange traded fund. And all it is a fund that's comprised of a lot of different stocks in it. And they basically charge you like $7 for every $1,000 or something like that. Each one is different. But you can have instead of you doing your own research, you just pick one stock and it's called the ETF. And instead of paying for Amazon or paying for Apple, which are very expensive, um, that ETF contains all these stocks in it at a certain percentage. But this app allows you to do that on your own. So this has something called fractional shares. So right now, like we could go over here and we could go to google.com and Amazon stock. So one share of Amazon stock right now is $3,167 for one share, right? So like, do you want to spend that on one stock right now? I that's up to you, but let's say you wanted to contribute to Amazon, but you don't have $3,167. So what you can do is come in an app like this, and they allow you to, if you wanted to buy $10 worth of that one stock, it's called a fractional share. And then next paycheck, you could put another $10 towards it. And then next paycheck, you could put another $30 towards it. So you could buy a bunch of different stocks and not have to pay the full price for it. You get a fraction of it. So let's say you put $10 in it, right? And then that $3,146 stock goes up 5%, then your fraction is going to go up 5% as well. So it's not like you have to have a full share to get the benefit. Like as that increases, the whole stock increases, even your little piece increases. Does that make sense? So it's not like a loan or anything like that. Like you buy a fraction of a share, but you own that fraction. It's yours. It's your property. So I could open up. This is my social one. So on this one, I only have 3 stocks. I have one called Jumia Technologies, one called Facebook, and one called DraftKings. As you can see, on Jumia Technologies, I currently have a gain of $871. That's how much profit I've made, which is equivalent to $376. And like I told you, this offers a lot of information. So I could click on here and it gives me even more information in here. So I can go down here and see what my average share price is. So my average share price for this stock is $4.39, and I have 55 shares of this stock. My total cost was $241. If I wanted to see what news was going on with this stock currently, like any news that's associated with the stock shows up over here. And this is the same thing on the app. So I'm just showing you the laptop version, the website, but the app is very simple and it has all the same information. It's compressed and it's still, you can see everything. So let me move this right here. So this is the all view. I can see how it's done in a month, what my progress has been in 1 month. I can see what my progress was in 1 week. I can see the 1-day trend, so I like it a lot. You can see it's currently $19.26, and I bought it when it was $4.39. So I've made a profit from it. So while I'm showing you this, like, is there any questions that you have about this app?
Not that many questions, I guess, sir. But I guess the one would be, so you have total control over this, right? Like for example, you could limit sells or limit buys. So for example, let's say I'm not willing to buy a fraction of a share or full share until like it drops a certain price. Am I able to control that as well? Do you have any experience with that, sir?
So this is one thing I really like about this app, man. And this app was made really to, it's like uh, the anti Robinhood. And the reason I say that is because this app is like it limits you with things. One, it doesn't have a lot of penny stocks in this app. Like you're not gonna find a lot of those penny stocks. Another thing is there's two trade windows. So there's a trade window in the daytime, and it's as soon as the market opens. And then there's a trade time in the afternoon. And some people have the argument, like you're saying, I don't want to pay a certain price for a stock. But what I've seen from some people is, some people will put that too high or they'll put that too low. And then the day will go by and they didn't buy the stock because it didn't hit that price that they put. They put an unrealistic price, you know? So what I like about this is that I just put my money into it, and if I want to buy, I buy. If I don't, I don't. And I'm not sitting here, trying to get the perfect price or not get the perfect price. It hasn't screwed me so far. I haven't felt like I overpaid. I may have overpaid a penny here, a penny there, but in other instances, I underpaid because, it bought it as soon as that market opened. So like I wasn't trying to time the market, if that makes sense. That's one thing I've seen with the limit orders and all that. Like, uh, you have to put an exact price, and you're over here wondering like, is this too high? Is this too low? And let's say the stock is currently before the market opens, you want to buy it, but it's at $2, and you're like, oh, I want it at 180. So you put that limit price at 180. Then the market opens, and then that stock drops to 150. You're not going to get that 150. You're going to pay 180 for it. Does that make sense? So like it's kind of like a risky game. But no, to answer your question, this doesn't have the limit orders and all that. But what you can do is, for example, you see this pie right here? So I have three stocks here, right? Um, what I do right here is I go to edit, and you can like see how much, like it always has to equal 100. So I want this pie to be 2% of Facebook and 2% of DraftKings, and I want it to be 96% of Jumia Technologies. All right, so, or I could change it, I could change it around. It always has to equal 100, but let me exit. When I could go here, I could press buy, and instead of buying, $10 or $20 of just one stock, I can make an order, buy, $30, and it'll split that $30 in between those three stocks. Or same thing, I could sell just from the pie. I could sell, let's say I wanted to sell $30 worth of that pie. It'll split it between those three pies in order for my pie to maintain that 100% fund all the way around. Does that make sense, or is that a little confusing? Oh, I think he stepped out. Are you back?
I'm back, sir. Sorry about that. Internet, it's not the best here.
It's all right, man. It's all right. I thought I lost you for a second. So what I was trying to say, man, is like, so you see all these pies I have here, or I could go in the pie and do the same thing. But one thing that I really like is like, if I just had $100 and I just wanted to throw it in there, if I want, I don't do this, but it's just an option. This is for people that do something called dollar cost averaging. Let's say you invested $100 every month. You could bring $100 and you could make an order of it. And when you press buy, it would buy from every single one of these or wherever it needed to buy in order to make your pie 100%. So we could go back to this pie right here. And this is what I was saying before. Um, if I go to edit, I can edit how much I want each of these stocks to have in this pie, how much of the pie I want it to be. So I can, edit it. I want it like that, but I could edit it if I wanted to. And if I changed it and I bought from this pie again, it would change the dynamic of the pie. That makes sense. What do you think of this so far compared to the one you use?
It's more useful. You have definitely more options with this one. Like how you mentioned, this is the anti-Robinhood because that's the only platform I know. And
Mhm.
that trading app, it's kind of like pretty cut and dry. Either you buy at that price or you don't buy at all. You can put the limit of what you want to buy it for, but like I said, there's not that many options as there is with this one, with this M1 Finance
Yeah, man. And
platform.
again, I have nothing against the Robinhood platform. I have nothing against anybody who does business there. A lot of the people in our chat, they use it. But for example, Massart, he uses it, but he's going to transition to this for his Roth IRA. Rios, he transitioned to this for his Roth. Kid, who else? Lee. These are all people you could talk to and get their take on it. But a lot of them have gone to this and they like this one a lot. But nothing says you can't have more than one brokerage. Uh, a lot of people have 4 or 5 brokerages. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Um, Especially when like you could go to Webull. I could send you a Webull account. You click on it, and then you get 2 free stocks, and I get 2 free stocks. And all you have to do is put in $100. You don't even have to use the $100. You just deposit the $100. You get 2 free stocks. You could sell those stocks. When I got it, there was a deal on Webull. I didn't even want the app, but there was a deal on it where Kid got like 4 stocks and I got 4 stocks or something like that. I think it was Kid. And I ended up getting 4 shares of Snapchat at like $12. And now those shares are like $24. So I didn't even pay for them, and now they've already doubled. So now I got money that I didn't even contribute that's already doubled. One thing you can't do on Robinhood if you wanted to that you can't do on here either is like sell options, like buy calls and puts and things like that. Again, this stock is really for long-term investors, and it tries to protect new investors by not giving all those options on here. It's very like limiting to kind of protect you from yourself, if that makes sense. And I think that's with Robinhood, it's been like an issue because people will, they don't know what they're doing and they just buy options calls and they end up losing a lot of money because they're not paying attention, or they think they know what they're doing and they're kind of confused about it. Have you sold options or anything like that?
I have not sold options, not yet.
All right, man. Yeah, I'm not saying again. I'm not saying don't do it. If you wanted to, you could keep Robinhood on the side for things like that. Um, I have. I still use Webull. I use it as my. I have like a certain allotment of my personal portfolio for speculative stocks. Is like 5% of my stock portfolio is in speculative stocks. And I just wanted to try it out. And Webull has like the dollar stocks. Webull's kind of like Robinhood with more options. And I use Webull for that to buy like if I see a penny stock that I think is has some legs to run, then I'll buy it. If I want to buy trade calls and puts, I could do it on Webull if I wanted to. So again, man, even if you came here, nothing, and you got your Roth IRA, nothing says you can't keep the other app as well. That makes sense. Um, do you think you would use this one or not?
I'll definitely look into it, sir. Looks pretty versatile. Like you can use it for many things.
Yeah. So again, man, they have there's more in here. Like you could go to research, and for example, like give me a stock, any stock you could think of.
Snapchat, the one you just mentioned.
All right. So let's say Snap. So you could go and research, click Snap, and it'll give you information on the stock. You could add it to your portfolio if you wanted to. You could put it on a watch list. There's a watch list here. So you can add it to a watch list if you wanted to keep an eye on it. There's also the views. You can see what it's been doing. Um, it gives you the profile of the stock, and then all the latest news, like anything that is come up on any media that has to do with this app, it'll pop up here. So you can read on not just the ones that you're thinking about, but it also on other stocks. If you're really still confused and you don't know what to invest in, they have something called expert pies. So you could click on expert pies and you can view pies for something that fits your personality. Like if you're general investing, if you want to plan for retirement, responsible, hedge fund, income earners, just stocks and bonds, other strategies, you could click on one of these and view the pies. And then they have their own pies, like a cannabis pie, domestic growth, domestic value. It'll show you here what this domestic growth stock has done in the last 5 years. It's gone up 101%. In the last 1 year, it's gone up 30%. This one stock here. If you want more information on it, you can click on it and it'll show you the stocks that are in it. So this one has Schwab and two ETFs, a Vanguard ETF and another one over here. You could even click on those and go in there further and get more information on it. You know, it tells you what kind of stock it is over here. Like I told you, ETFs have a lot of stocks in them. So this one has 170 stocks in it. And it tells you the allocations here, how much is US, how much is not, and the top holdings down here. You can look at your pies. You can look at funds, stocks. But yeah, man, it's good information, but again, I don't think it's too much information. There's some apps that give you like way too much info, and you're like, oh, I don't know, my head's gonna explode. I don't know what to do with myself. If you wanted to, you could borrow on here. Like there's other stuff you can do, but it's not mandatory, and it's a free app. Just one thing you should know: for any Roth IRA, no matter where you go, the minimum you can put into it is $500. So you need to have $500 in order to start a Roth IRA. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't matter which brokerage you choose, you got to have that minimum. So with this one, for example, you could put the 500 and you could use that 500 throughout, like, you don't have to use it all in one day or like whenever somebody tells you to, like, you buy it on your own. Unlike the TSP, they do dollar cost averaging for you. So on the 15th, they're going to put it in no matter what. Does that make sense? The stocks could all be up, overpriced. It doesn't matter. They're going to take that and throw it in there because they don't leave it just hitting on the sidelines. But you can be more methodical with your money and take it easy. So yeah, man. What other questions you have?
My only question would have been kind of interests me the strategies portion of it, like looking at the different like assets you can invest in, like the different, I don't know, revenue streams, I guess. Like you said, there was one for realty, one for food and services, stuff of that nature. I don't know, that kind of interests me doing the research on that, diversify my portfolio, because Robinhood, it's not really much I can diverse in. Obviously, there's different categories, but like I have to buy specific stock, and that just kind of doesn't do me a favor when I have to go and pick those individual ones. I can just pick a strategy that, takes on multiple funds rather than just one.
Oh, definitely, man. And you can do it the way you want. You could build this the way you want it build it. You know what I mean? If you just, I did a lot, like, because I wanted to be extra diversified. But it's up to you, man. Like this one don't even have that many, I don't think. This one has, I bought AbbVie here. I'm up $104 there. Small Direct Club, I sold out of that one. But yeah, like I like to, and to me, it's just organized. Like, I don't know if it's OCD or whatnot, but I like to be able to organize it the way I want. And for what I've seen on Robinhood, you really can't do that, right? Or can you? No.
Not
So
really.
go ahead, man.
Oh, sorry. It's just like you have to be very specific with the stocks you do buy. You can't just buy Well, you can, right? You can buy multiple at once, but it's like you'll have to do the legwork to do that. Here, it kind of looks like you can just put your money in a pot, for example, and then the money just grows by itself because it goes to individual or not individual, multiple stocks.
Yeah, man, and you can do that. For example, this is my real estate pie. So these are all real estate investment trusts. And the thing about these is that they pay dividends some of them every month and some of them every quarter. And usually like if I had these in my taxable account outside of my Roth IRA, every year I would have to pay tax on these dividends at is at a higher rate whenever you pay on a REIT. It's called a REIT, a real estate investment trust, REIT. A nickname for it is a REIT. So anytime you have a REIT, those dividends are always a higher tax than a regular dividend that you get paid from, let's say, Coca-Cola or Starbucks or something like that. So let's say I could go over here and let me see. So I could go to details about it. And as you can see right here, this one pays a 13.14% dividend. So the way I look at it is like, if I put my money in a savings account, how much money is that savings account going to pay me? You know, and right now yields in the world, in the United States, are at an all-time low. So the money you're getting, there's some online savings accounts that are called high yield savings accounts. Even those are at an all-time low. So if I don't know about if you know about inflation or not, but with inflation, um, keeping my money in one of these stocks, in one of these savings accounts, I'm actually losing money every year because they're only going to pay me like 1%, and inflation is an average of 2% per year. So inflation just means the value of the dollar goes down every year. That's why, a pack of gum when you were little is more expensive now than it was when you were little, is because the value of the dollar is less and less and less. And that's called inflation. That's something that naturally happens. So if you have your money in a savings account, you're kind of losing money every year just by keeping it in there. But with this, I receive a dividend. Um, this one is every quarter. So every 3 months, I receive a dividend for every single share that I have. I get paid. So the more shares you have, obviously the most. And again, with this inside of your retirement account, you're not paying any tax on any of these dividends that you're receiving. And this creates something called compound interest. Have you heard of that before?
I have, sir. Just like it just builds and builds. The money you've earned, those earnings just go into the initial investment and just continues to grow.
Exactly, man. Perfect. A lot of people don't even know about that, but yeah, man. That's incredible how much money you can make off of that. Some consider it the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. But yeah, man, I'm glad you know that a lot of people don't pay attention to things like that, or they don't know. So yeah, man, if you did, I would add some real estate investment trusts in there. There's a lot of good ones out there. Um, and like you could go here to stocks and you could go down a list, like they have them all here listed out. Obviously they're going to have the ones, like the most famous ones up top, but you could go through here, and eventually you get to some and you're like, oh, I never even heard of this one. Or like we were just talking about, different sectors. Well, here if you look on the left side, they're already broken down for you in different sectors. So if you're looking for something in a different type of in location, like let's say you already have your finance, you have your banks or something like that, or you have your AT&T or Verizon or something like that, and you're like, oh, I want to look into something in the health field. So you could go here. Do I want health services or health technology? Oh, let's go to health technology. Let's see what they got. And they got stocks here that can fit what you want. Um, And I think it's like an easy to view, even on your phone. Once you download the app, it's still easy to view. It's very like user friendly, and it gives you a baseline. It doesn't give you all the information in the world, but if it did, you would literally be here for days before you even started investing anything. But yeah, is there anything on here you want me to look at, or you think you got a good idea?
Uh, I get the picture of it, sir. It looks pretty. What is it? Like you said, user friendly. Like I wouldn't have no issues navigating it. Doesn't look too complicated. But my one question in regards to like the whole Roth IRA, like putting up the account, I already know how much money I need to put in and all that. But is there any like penalties? Let's say if you withdraw within that timeline you've chosen for yourself. I imagine there is. I just want to get
Hey
a
man,
clarification on that.
that's a great question. That's a fantastic question. So yes, there's no penalty. So the way it works is, again, you could contribute 6,000 a year, right? So with the Roth IRA, at any point from the moment you contribute, you can pull out the amount of money that you contributed into it. So there's no penalty there. So let's say you put $6,000 and you wanted that $6,000 a few months from now, you could pull that out with no penalty. However, the gains that you've made, you can't pull those out for 5 years. You have to leave those in there for at least 5 years before you can pull them out. Does that answer your question?
It does, sir.
Yeah, so 3 years from now, if you maxed out every year, you would have put in $18,000 and you wanted to pull that out at that time, you could pull out the $18,000. But if you had made $3,000 profit or $10,000 profit, you wouldn't be able to put those profits out until 5 years, until those profits were in there for 5 years. Does that kind of make sense or no?
It does make sense, sir.
Yeah. Again, man, but don't think about pulling out. Like this is no pun intended. Don't be a pervert. This is something you yeah, I see you. This is something you put your money into, and is money that you don't need right now. Like it's just money you're gonna set aside. And if an emergency came, like you wouldn't need this. Like you're not gonna touch this. You're just gonna sit there and let it grow and let it grow. Because if you are gonna pull it out, then it kind of defeats the purpose, because with the compound interest, you don't really get the full benefit of it until the final like 10 years of it. That's when it like builds and builds. An example of that is like if you had a penny and I doubled that penny for you at the end of the month, like if I could double that penny for you every single day for 30 days, or if I could just give you $3,000, which one would you choose?
The one with the what is it, the highest return rate? So the one with you give me 3 at the very end.
Yeah, so if I gave you a penny and I doubled it every single day for the 30 days or 31 days, whatever, you would end up with like $5,000. But you wouldn't see the biggest part of those gains until like day 21 or day 22. Like that's when it would be like 200,000, 400,000, 800,000, 1,200,000. Like those last few days is when it really, really you get the most bang for your buck. So if you're gonna have this for 3 or 4 years or 5 years and then pull your money out, it kind of defeats the purpose. Another thing I should mention is that you have until currently April of 2021 to put in money for 2020. For the year of 2020 contributions, you have until the end of the next tax year, which is April 15th of 2021. So you have all that time to put your $6,000 into to contribute. So it's not a rush. You're not in a rush to do it. This year, because of COVID, they extended it for 2019. They extended it all the way to July. So people had a few more months to put money in for 2019. But currently, people are putting in for 2020. And one more time, you have until April 15th of 2021 to contribute your maximum of $6,000. Any other questions, man? Anything else on your mind?
Not No, sir, not really.
All right, man.
Pretty now I wouldn't say straightforward, but the information is there on this site, and it's just up to me to do the research and obviously manage and allocate my funds appropriately.
Yep. And it's all out there, man. Like I again, there's more places out there. I can only recommend what I've used, and so far, like the guys like personally know that work with us, all those guys are using the same platform, and again, none of them have given me any complaints. In the March lows, there was times where I think it was 2 or 3 times where Robinhood went blank and people couldn't trade on there. I'm sure you've heard of it. That didn't happen with
Yes, I was experiencing.
that didn't happen here. That didn't happen with this application. So on those days when other people on Robinhood couldn't, I was over here laughing at them. Like, you guys are bragging about this place, but I'm over here buying on these lows, and you guys are not. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you the link, and I'll also post it down in the comments below on the details section. And if you use that link, you get next, like once you deposit your first 500 or 100, because it's not just for Roth. You can also use it as a regular brokerage account. I use it for both. I use it for my Roth IRA, and I also have my regular investments there as well. So if you deposit money into there, you get an extra, I think it's 10 or 20 bucks for starting an account with them, and you could use that money however you could buy whatever stocks you want with that money. You could pull it out if you want to. So this money, if you want to pull it out, it goes straight into your checking account. There was something else I heard with Robinhood. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but with this, these people trust you. I guess like kind of like a trust thing. So let's say today I want to deposit 100, 300, $500. I can use it the same exact day. They're going to give me a credit, even though they haven't received it from my bank. They're going to give me a credit on that money, and I can start using it that very next trading window. I'm not sure if it's the same with your app. I think somebody mentioned there was like a waiting period before you could start using that money. Is that true?
It is, sir. There's it's called the instant buying power. What is it? So off the bat, I think the limit is on that is like $1,000. If you go over $1,000, then you have to wait like a couple of days before those funds appear in your Robinhood account, and then you can actually use them.
Okay.
And it's only a one time thing.
Okay, but on this one, man,
just $1,000.
Yeah. On this one, no matter what you put on there, they give you the credit the same day, which is convenient because you could start buying the same day if you wanted to, but you don't have to. You know what I mean? You don't have to be like in a rush to go and purchase these things if you're not really going to use them. But yeah, man, any other questions? Anything else you could think of?
Not really, sure. Everything that I had in regards to this pretty much got answered. But with obviously you going to the website and looking through the different information categories.
Yeah, man. So I'm always here. You ever have any questions, we can link up. And same thing, man. As you go through and you go through the ranks, like share this with the junior ones. You know what I mean? Like give them this advice that you wish you would have had. I'm sure you wish you would have known about all this stuff a few years ago, right?
Yeah,
exactly, man. So we can't be selfish with the information. We gotta spread it. We gotta share it. And again, man, I'm humble enough to where I can learn from you as well. You may find information out that we don't know. So keep the chat room alive. If you find things out, or because you're gonna start doing research on this now, so I'm sure you're gonna see things that we may not have seen. Share with us. Put it on there and keep the chat going. All right. But all right, everyone else, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Thanks again for your time, Velasco, and I hope y'all got something out of this. But take care.
Thank you, sir. You too.